This strange-looking creature is Anarus, a female mermaid. Her body structure is similar to that of a human. The man was trapped on an isolated island for many years. Due to the long-term loneliness, he committed a heinous crime against a female fisherman. The story is set on the eve of World War I. A meteorologist named Friend is sent to an isolated Antarctic island for climate observation. This isolated island has exuded an unsettling atmosphere from the very beginning. An old ship captain escorts Friend to the meteorological station with the intention of having him take over the position of the previous meteorologist. However, when they arrive, the meteorological station has already become a ruin, obviously having been abandoned for many years. Out of curiosity, the captain takes Friend to the only inhabited building on the island. A lighthouse that looks more like a fortress. On the walls of the lighthouse, the protruding nails seem to imply that there is some kind of threat lurking here. The lighthouse keeper is a bearded old man named Gruner. He reveals to Friend that the last meteorologist died of typhoid fever and his body was washed away by the sea.
Where is Cyphers? He's dead? He went out one day. I never saw him again.
The old ship captain persuades Friend to leave this dangerous place, but Friend, who is tired of the war-torn world, insists on staying. At that time, he has no idea that this decision will mark the beginning of his nightmare.
I would have to live in solitude like exile for 12 months, far from civilization, with a job as monotonous as it was insignificant, to look the intensity and direction of the winds.
That night, while Friend is tidying up the room, he accidentally finds a woman's wedding photo in a diary. Just as he is lost in thought looking at the photo, a sudden knock on the door interrupts his train of thought. He thinks it's Gruner, so he gets up to open the door, but when he opens the door, he sees a pitch-black hand reaching in. He instinctively steps on it. Then, an overwhelming sense of fear surges in his heart, and he quickly hides in the cellar. In the cellar, he looks through the cracks in the wooden planks and meets the gaze of a monster. He panics and picks up something nearby to stab at the monster. With great difficulty, he drives it away and then endures a whole night of fear. At dawn, when the sunlight shines down, Friend sees the house surrounded by dense and numerous footprints. He then realizes that the spikes on the lighthouse are actually defensive fortifications against these monsters. He rushes to find Gruner to ask for an explanation, but before he can say anything, the door slams shut in front of him. In desperation,
Please let me in! Should have stayed on the boat. Gruner!
Friend can only rely on himself. He starts to reinforce the house and sets traps with flammable materials, ready to face the possible danger. Once everything is ready, he nervously awaits the fateful confrontation. As night falls, Friend looks out the window and is stunned by the sight in front of him. It's not just one monster, but a group of them swarming towards the house. He panics and quickly picks up the gun to shoot. When the monsters break through the door, he triggers the trap and successfully repels them, but the flames also instantly engulf his home. Homeless under the burning sky, he makes his way towards the lighthouse. Halfway there, he collapses from exhaustion. When he wakes up, he finds the female mermaid Anarus licking his wounds. Gruner suddenly kicks the door open, and Anarus cowers like a frightened slave. Friend looks down at his wound and is surprised to find that it has already healed. Gruner explains to Friend that this island has given birth to many creatures that have evolved beyond recognition. Anarus was saved by Gruner after an accident and has since been tamed into submission, but Friend believes that Anarus should not be just a tool for Gruner to vent his anger. After that, Friend is attracted by Anarus's tenderness, and he gradually builds a connection with her, which also stirs up Gruner's jealousy. Gruner takes Friend to the top of the lighthouse and uses the searchlight to illuminate the swarms of fish monsters below. Then, he locks the door and ignores Friend's cries for help, letting the fish monsters rampage outside. In Gruner's mind, he is the only one who should rule this deserted island. In the morning, Gruner opens the door. Friend has miraculously survived. Out of helplessness, Gruner has to choose to coexist with him because at night, they still need to join hands to fight against those ruthless fish monsters. Weeks pass, and before winter arrives, the attacks of the fish monsters stop. During this quiet period, Friend's feelings for Anarus grow deeper and deeper. One night, the usually tyrannical Gruner suddenly suggests playing chess, which is a rare move for him. But before they can finish the game, the fish monsters attack again and trap them at the glass top of the lighthouse. The sturdy glass holds out until dawn. During this time, Anarus helps Gruner recover from some of his injuries. Just then, they spot a cargo ship. Friend excitedly picks up the flare gun, hoping to send out a distress signal, but Gruner knocks him down. Anarus rushes to Friend's side immediately, but her long, ingrained obedience keeps her from moving under Gruner's intimidation. Gruner snatches the flare, unwilling to give up his dominance on this island. As expected, his anger then turns towards Anarus. During his time with Anarus, Friend has unintentionally hurt her feelings on some occasions, and he feels deeply remorseful about it. So, he carefully carves a boat out of fish bones and presents it to Anarus in a warm and loving moment. It is from then on that their relationship becomes even deeper. As their intimacy deepens, Gruner's possessiveness grows stronger and stronger, and an evil plan begins to take shape in his mind. One day, they come to the vicinity of a sunken ship and prepare to salvage the treasures on it. Friend ties the safety rope firmly and, with the breathing apparatus connected to the compressor that Gruner will operate, dives into the water carefully. It is dark underwater, and a mysterious and dangerous atmosphere pervades all around. When Gruner finally manages to pull the box from the water onto the boat, a dark shadow suddenly rushes towards Friend like a ghost. Friend is shocked and desperately pulls the rope to signal for help from Gruner, but Gruner deliberately ignores him. He actually wants to take this opportunity to murder Friend. However, to everyone's surprise, the fish monster doesn't attack Friend. With great difficulty, Friend manages to get back on the boat, relying on his strong will and the desire to survive. After going through this life and death test and facing Gruner's betrayal, Friend clearly realizes that Gruner is an extremely dangerous person. After returning to the lighthouse, they open the box and find that it is full of explosives. Only then does Friend understand that Gruner intends to use these explosives to carry out his plan to eliminate the fish monsters. They set the traps according to Gruner's plan, but weeks pass, and everything remains peaceful. Gruner unjustly accuses Anarus of tipping off her kind. One night, Gruner forces Anarus to use a signal to lure the fish monsters and also makes Friend light the kerosene lamp as bait. Sure enough, the fish monsters swarm in from all directions like a tidal wave. Under the attack of the fish monsters, they retreat to the attic, and then Gruner detonates the explosives. At dawn, a graveyard of fish monsters comes into view, and Anarus disappears in this explosion. Time passes quickly, and in the days that follow, no fish monsters are seen again. Until one day, the missing Anarus returns with her clan and seeks a truce. But the already crazy Gruner can't accept that Anarus, who was once tamed by him, has betrayed him. In a daze, he shoots and kills a baby fish monster. Seeing this, Friend is filled with anger, and he engages in a life and death struggle with Gruner. In the intense scuffle, Gruner accidentally falls off the lighthouse and is swallowed by the fish monsters below. Not long after, a new meteorologist arrives on the island. Now, Friend, with a full beard and weathered by hardships, looks just like Gruner at the beginning of the story. Loneliness seems to devour everything, and a new cycle seems to be about to begin. In fact, we are so similar to these islanders. In the abundance of modern society, our hearts are still like fragile islands, soft and full of unease.